In this video, Joe Rogan goes off on why he's no longer a liberal. So if you are a soft, mommy, tuck me in, read me a bedtime story type of person, I'm just going to warn you, viewer discretion is advised. Without further ado, let's ride.
Like trans people in women's bathrooms. Like, says who?
Yeah.
Says who? How do you know that's a real trans person? How do you not know that's a fucking creep that wants to pull his dick out in front of kids? Because those are real.
We
And if
spa.
and if that guy was a convicted sex offender.
Yeah.
And he was doing that. Look, those guys are real. It doesn't mean trans people aren't real also, but those guys are fucking real.
Yeah.
And to even say that those guys are real, you get excommunicated. You get treated like you're a Nazi.
I never even cared about it.
Didn't care at all.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you are, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? But it's like, I can't do it anymore.
I think it's engineered. I really
By
do.
who?
By China and by Russia.
Oh, no, Chinese.
Yeah, I think what they're doing by manipulating social media, manipulating algorithms, I think some of it is natural. Don't get me wrong. I think some of it would have happened either way. It happened during the 70s with the hippie movement. There's always these people that they want to live completely outside of the norm of conformity of society. And there's always people like that. But what's going on now is very different, and it's accentuated by social media. And I think it's accentuated by algorithms naturally because people are inclined to go towards things that upset them. But also, it's done purposely. And I think it's done if you have enough stuff about like whatever the thing is, whether it's Black Lives Matter or whether it's Ukraine or whether it's free Palestine from the river to the sea. If you have enough of that online, it moves the needle. And the way I described it the other day, it's like if two ships are going in a certain direction. This is a ship where people logically work through things, and this is a ship that's adjusted by the algorithm, affected by the algorithm. And it just moves that much. Over time, this is what we're seeing. So over time, you and I, who used to be on the left, are now like, where's the left?
Bingo. That's literally what's going on. I mean, the way Joe broke that down was literally perfect. I think today's left and today's right is much different than before because these big media companies and machines are controlling what type of content we consume. All right. They just did a study not too long ago to see, who's still watching cable TV. And guess what the average age is? 60, right? Now, I'm not saying that younger people aren't watching TV at all. Of course, you still have some, but for the most part, they're not. So that means, and by the way, they could still control through the TV. I'm not saying that they can't, but they have even more control now, right? Because now they have certain algorithms and they have your data and they can show you these different stuff, right? That you may not be inclined to, right? That you may not agree with, right? And some stuff that you do. But anyway, Joe's cooking. Back to the video.
Where are you guys? You guys are so far away. I can't even see you. You're out of your mind. You're fucking chopping dicks off and giving little kids hormone blockers. You have no idea what the long-term consequences are. You're ignoring the health risks. You won't even talk about the health risks. You use things like gender affirming care. What are you saying? What are you saying when you're talking about children? Why are you just accepting this? Because it's a noble thing to blurt out so everybody goes, you're on the right team. That's what it is. It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to kids? It's not like, oh my God, what are we doing to San Francisco? It's not like, oh my God, why are we letting these violent criminals out of jail? It's like, oh my God, why are we defunding the fucking police? What are you doing? You can't say any of those things. If you say any of those things,
but you
you're
just
a
said
Nazi.
it. You get nervous?
No.
Okay.
No, he's not, because Joe is in a position of power. Okay. Joe is the boss. Yes, Joe may have, he works with Spotify, but see, these people are his partners. So Joe can say, excuse my French, whatever the flip he wants, right? He can say whatever he wants to say, right? Not everybody can do that though. Some people, if they work at a job that leans left and the job finds out that they're promoting Trump and they're leaning right, what do you think that is going to happen to that person? They may lose their job. So you have people that can be bought. You have people that can be bought and paid for. And some people low key You know, they may be messing with Trump. They may be messing with the right, but they can't say anything. Back to the video.
Live here.
Right.
This is Texas. In Texas, 99% of the people agree with me. Even the left-leaning people here are way more reasonable.
Even last night, there's a joke that I tell that if I say it in a liberal city, it dies. You know what I mean? And it's a joke about, you know what I mean, Down syndrome people making love, and they make up their own moves. Right?
Yo,
and they know traditional moves. And I did it last night. It crushed most shows. And I felt like, oh, this is, you know what I mean, what I've been, I think, maybe looking for.
Well, that club is specifically designed and nurtured just for what's funny. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no message here unless you have a message and it's funny and it's in there.
Yeah.
You want to do it? That's fine. But what's valued is comedy. Just like if you go to a music show, you don't want those in between the music speeches about climate change. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up and play the song. Entertain me. We want to develop stand-up comedy, like real stand-up comedy, because I think it's a worthy art form. I think it's very valuable to people in terms of enjoyment and in terms of mental health and in terms of society. It's an important part of society. Like the Lakota had a person in their tribe that was called the Heyoka, and Heyoka was the sacred clown. And this is the person that made fun of everything. Because if you couldn't make fun of something, it was bullshit. Like if there's one guy, oh, you can't make fun of him. Well, that's probably bullshit. He probably has an disappropriate amount or an inappropriate amount of power.
Yeah.
A disproportionate amount of influence. There's like probably some ego going on here too, if you can't make fun of something.
Yeah.
Because if you can make fun of something and it's not funny, then you're not funny. But if you can make fun of something and it's funny and people laugh and someone gets mad, they're the problem.
Yeah.
They're the problem.
And I want to say something. I never said this before. I want to say it now, right? Just for my personal life, some of the bullying that I received was necessary for me to get to where I am now.
Well, you don't want it.
I don't want it. No, I didn't ever
I know what
want
you're
it.
saying.
But I wouldn't like go back in my past and change anything.
Right. I wouldn't either.
Yeah. Because I feel like everything, like my dad.
I feel him. It makes you a man. It makes you a man. These days, I mean, I don't know what the climate is in these schools, but if you probably hit somebody with, like, touch them with a feather, it's harassment. Oh my gosh, you harassed me. Oh. Right? It's crazy. It's craziness, right? I remember me after school, I mean, we got into fights, and I'm not gonna lie, I lost a good amount of them, which caused me to get in the gym and bulk up and put on some darn muscle so I could defend myself. Are we going to have that these days? Probably not. Because if you touch somebody with a freaking toothpick or a feather, you get probably detention. Back to the video. And I'm just guessing, but I would assume because all the soft nonsense, right?
I was fucking violent as fuck, dude. Like he would knock my mom's tooth out. She has a missing tooth right here. You know what I mean? And we witnessed all this trauma.
Yeah.
Right? And he was like, dude, it was fucking terrible. I have done EMDR on just him. Trauma therapy. Right? And it's like, and then, I was a little guy in an American high school, and people would bully me. I lived in Minnesota. They thought I was an Eskimo. They threw ice chunks at my head. Crows would. Anyway, my point is that all those little things, and even in comedy, it was hard being me, this little guy.
Yeah, guys, that's ultimately what I think. And you know what? He's right. People knocking teeth out, people getting punched in the freaking face, and all that stuff. And I remember, my grandmother's mother. Not my grandmother's mother's friend. By the way, it's a whole long story. They used to get hit with a switch. You know what I mean? And back then that's what it was, right? So, and again, I get that's extreme, and I'm not saying that that's right. That's not right. I just want to make sure that is not right, right? But again, just if we keep going down this route of getting soft, like where's the men at, and we're just going to keep getting softer and softer. It's really not good. All right, guys. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Okay, make sure you headbutt the subscribe button and knee the like button. Until next time, peace.